tried it. It's so good. If you can't tell, I'm very excited for fall. I'm so ready. So let's start with some moisturizer. I have here Byrod Kale Hydrating Gel Moisturizer. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. It's hard for me to get that to focus. This feels incredible. I love how refreshing it feels. Okay, so while I do the face makeup, I'll start with the first book. So the first book that I read was, I think it was April, was the next month that I didn't check. I didn't update you guys on. So my first April read was Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. Now, this was the third book in the Thorn Glass series, and I will give you a little bit of a background. So, it is the continuing journey of Selena Sardathian as she ventures into a foreign land to confront her past and uncover truths that could reshape her identity. As she grapples with grief and identity, she's forced into a brutal training regimen that tests her strength and magic. So there's new characters that are introduced in this book, which I love. I loved the new characters. It definitely kept me more intrigued than the other books, I think, with the new characters. I love how she got to know her magic, and yeah, I think it was a really great third book. I will say though, the romance kind of confused me because I thought he was her cousin. Can you guys confirm? Somebody let me know in the comments because I was so confused. So the next book was Know My Name by Chanel Miller. So if you guys are not familiar with this story, she was known to the public as Emily Doe, and she was a sexual assault victim on the Stanford campus. And so she basically tells her story. It's a beautifully written memoir. It really is so impactful and written so well. The book explores themes of trauma, resilience, justice, and healing, offering a searing critique of societal and legal systems while celebrating the strength found in vulnerability and truth. It truly was so impactful. I would say that I love how it captured, like, how she captured her background and her family and how she felt and how she processed. I feel like as a victim myself, it really resonated with me, and I really felt it was a really good way of depicting like how you feel and how it affects your life without you even like realizing it. I will say I think the ending kind of felt a little bit dragged out, but I think that was just me because it was like the story was told and it was like the aftermath, and I kind of felt a little bit triggered, to be honest. So if you're somebody who could be triggered from a topic like that, just be wary, and just feel free to talk to people and talk to your family and a therapist or whatever you need to process. So, that first book I rated 4.5. And then this one I rated 5 stars. I don't normally really like to rate memoirs because it's like that's their life, you know, but I rated it 5 because of the writing. Like, I really felt like it needed like it really needed like a rating to portray how impactful it was to me. So yeah. I also want to say that I really enjoyed like her humor and her personality. I just thought that she was so cute, and I just fell in love with like her way of thinking and her way of viewing life. Like, it really was such an impactful book. I definitely recommend that you listen to it. She does read it herself, so that's really nice. So the next book is yours truly by Abby Jimenez. And this is actually the second book in Part of Your World. I didn't realize that it was like a series. I think it's just like a interconnected like standalone, but it is labeled that way on Goodreads, so just in case it is like an actual series. Although I think reading Part of Your World first does help you with the characters in this book, but you don't necessarily need to read that to understand this book. I'm gonna grab a brush. So this is a heartfelt contemporary romance that follows Dr. Brianna Ortiz. She's an ER physician, and she's navigating like a lot of personal and professional issues in her life. And like she's been like divorced, I believe. And then a new doctor starts. His name is Jacob Maddox at her work. And the first impression is like really rocky. Like, they do not make good first impressions on each other. But then everything changes when they start writing handwritten letters, and they have late night conversations, and they basically confront emotional wounds and family challenges, and their bond grows, and they get like some chemistry, you know. There's like slow burn chemistry. I will say, I think the like writing letters is like something that I personally experienced, so I really felt connected to that, and I found it very cute and charming. I think her books are very much like rom-com vibes. Like, they're so good. I love how she writes the dynamics with the characters. Jacob is so wholesome. I loved him. He was so cute. And I think one thing about her books as well is I love the depth. Like, there's always depth to the stories. It's never just like a shallow, I guess not shallow, but it's never just like a standard rom-com. Like, there's always more to it. Like, when it comes to like the family struggles or her personal struggles. And so I really love that about her books. But yeah, so I rated that one a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed that book. Next, let's jump into some concealer. So my next read, and mind you, this is going into May. So my next read was A Touch of Darkness. A Touch of Darkness. This is the first book in a series. It's like the Hades and Persephone series. And oh, I forgot to blend setting called New Athens. And basically Persephone, the goddess of spring, struggles with the secret. Her powers don't work the way they should, and she is seeking independence. She's like trying to live as like a mortal and like have a job and go to school, and she ends up getting into a contract with Hades, and everything kind of just goes from there. So there's like a lot of like divine politics and like personal growth, and it's like a slow burn romance for sure. But I just love the like blend of mythology and fantasy in one. It was really unique in my opinion. And the romance was cute. I liked the romance. And I loved the modern take on Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology, so that was really cool to get a different take on that. So I rated this one 3.5. 3.5. I definitely enjoyed it. I didn't like love it, but I enjoyed it. It was definitely a good read, and I do recommend it for anybody who might be interested in that kind of topic. Okay. So the next book that I read was A Kingdom of Flesh. Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Flesh and Fire. And that is actually the second book in the Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So this picks up like right after From Blood and Ash. It's like an immediate follow from that book. So basically it goes deeper into the world of like ancient power and forbidden romance. So in this book, Poppy is no longer the sheltered maiden. She must navigate a shifting landscape of trust and betrayal as she's drawn closer to Prince Castile and the mysterious kingdom of Atlantia. With war looming and secrets unraveling, she's forced to confront her identity, her growing powers, and the dangerous choices that could shape the fate of two realms. I would say I still loved this series. I just haven't continued it. I definitely want to, I just haven't. So I read that book and I rated it a 4-star. A 4-star, but I have not continued it, so I will definitely set my entire face. There's no way about it, guys. I have to set my whole face. So anyway, the book that I listened to next was Multipliers. How the Best Leaders Make Everyone Smarter by Liz Wiseman. So, as I mentioned, I read this book because of a book club at my work. Unfortunately, this was like the only book that, like, this is the second book we listened to, and then it kind of just stopped. Like, no one read the following book, and then it was just like kind of deflating because everybody got too busy. But regardless, I will tell you what it's about. So this is a leadership book that explores why some leaders amplify the intelligence of their teams while others unintentionally stifle it. Basically, she introduces two archetypes: multipliers who inspire growth, innovation, and ownership, and diminishers who drain energy and limit potential. So through research and real-world examples, the book outlines 5 key disciplines that define multiplier behavior, and it offers practice strategies and offers like really good examples. Basically, I will say it was definitely really good. I found like a lot of like it made an impact on me, made me self-reflect for sure. And it was really good information, especially for my job. Like, I think my job directly is an example of those kinds of people, diminishers and multipliers, and so it was really good to learn like how to deal with a diminisher, how to be more like a multiplier, and yeah, it was just really good. I will say though, I don't think that you need to read the whole thing. Like, I feel like it kind of just went on, and I got the gist of the information like in the first half of the book, but it's still really good, and I rated it a 4.25. 4.25. Let's do my eyeshadow. You guys, I used to do like such bold and colorful eyeshadow looks, and I haven't in a really long time. This is like my everyday go-to palette. It's really cute, but I'm like, kind of miss doing like a whole ass halo eye for like literally the most chill event, but it's okay. It's okay. So the next book that I read was Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. If you don't know this author, he wrote The Fight Club. I think it's just called Fight Club. Which I had not read or watched prior to this book, but if you're aware, or if you're not aware, or if you know that, then that's the same author. Sorry, I was trying to find this brush. So let me read you what it's about. So this is a dark, satirical and unsettling novel that blends horror, absurdity, and psychological drama. That is such a good summary of this book. It follows a group of aspiring writers who attend a mysterious retreat, lured by the promise of uninterrupted time to craft their masterpieces. But as isolation sets in, their desperation for fame and recognition spirals into chaos. Each character shares a chilling tale, revealing the twisted depth of human ambition and the lengths people will go to be remembered. You you guys, this book is so good. It was so good. Definitely really twisted. It's very, very, very dark. Not for everybody. I want to tell you, it's not for everybody. Like, seriously. I don't know. Read the trigger warnings. I don't think it had any, but there might be some online. It was dark. But it was so good. So I think it's perfect for spooky season. Personally, I think if you're like looking to read something kind of like creepy and like, ugh, this is a good book. And I really believe that Chuck is like an artist. Like, I love how he portrayed human tendencies in an extreme way that was eye-opening and impactful, and then like it told you the moral, you know, and like it really provoked thought. So I thought that was really, really interesting. I rated this a 4-star. 4-star. Okay. So the next book that I read was 11/22/63 by Stephen King. So this was a gripping blend of historical fiction, suspense, and time travel. The story follows Jake Epping, a high school teacher who discovers a portal that transports him to 1958. Tasked with an extraordinary mission to prevent the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, Jake must navigate the complexities of the past, where every action has ripple effects. As he immerses himself in mid-century America, he faces moral dilemmas, unexpected dangers, and a poignant love story that complicates his mission. Guys, I rated this book 5 stars. 5 stars. This was genuinely a 5-star read for me. I loved this book. I think Stephen King is the king of slow burn. So if you don't like slow books, you might not like it, but I will tell you, it's all worth it. Okay, it's worth it in the end. If you can get through it, I recommend it. I cried multiple times, and the ending was so good. I think about it all the time. It's so good. Your turn. Blink, 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 blink. I love this mascara. On a side note, this is the Complex Culture Executive Level Mascara. I got this through a BoxyCharm. Never heard of this brand. Well, I have. I've heard of it through like other things I've gotten, but I would never have like bought this on my own. And it's amazing. I love it. I love it a lot. Anyway, next book that I read was The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. So if you don't remember, this is the second book in Once Upon a Broken Heart. And funny enough, I did not like this book. Or no, the first book, Once Upon a Broken Heart. I just felt like the plot was so chaotic and I was so confused. And I just felt like the writing style wasn't for me. But I just kept hearing such good things about this series. So I was like, let me just read the second book and see if I still feel the same way. Like, let's just give it a chance, you know? So I read this book and I feel like because I knew what to expect with the writing, I took it better, if that makes sense. So I actually like this one more. So I'll tell you what it's about. The enchanting second book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, continuing Evelyn Fox's journey through a world where fairy tales twist into something darker. After a devastating curse upends her life, Evelyn reluctantly teams up with Jax, the Prince of Hearts, the Prince of Hearts, the Prince of Hearts. And he's a fate known for his charm and danger, to seek a legendary magical artifact that could rewrite destiny. As they travel through the magnificent north, secrets unravel, alliances shift, and the line between love and betrayal blurs. This sequel deepens the romance, raises the stakes, and expands the magical lore, all while keeping readers spellbound with whimsy, tension, and emotional twists. If you're not familiar with the series, it's very much like it's about fates, it's about curses, and it gives like Gossip Girl vibes. That's the Gossip Girl vibes, what kept me reading it, to be honest. But the plot was still really chaotic. It was just like I could expect it more, so it didn't bother me as much. And maybe it's because I listened to the books, I didn't read them physically, so maybe that would change my perspective. But the ending of this book did have me jumping into the next book immediately. Like I was like, I gotta know what happened, you know. It was good in that way. And I rated this book a 4 star. Okay, so the next book is Queen of Shadows. This is the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. So basically, Aelin is no longer like hiding behind her assassin identity, and she goes back to Otterlin, and she's determined to reclaim her throne and dismantle the corrupt empire. And yeah, so I feel like this book, like, the world ends, like shit hits the fan in a good way, and everything kind of like comes to a resolve in a way. But I kind of felt like, okay, now what? Like, this is only the fourth book and there's more books in the series, so I very much just like jumped into the next book because I'm like, okay, next, what's next? Like, what happened? You know, why are we still reading this? Why are we still talking about this? You know, but it was still really good. It was just like, it was really, really good because everything got resolved. You know, like things happened that you've been anticipating from the other books. But yeah, so I rated this one a 4.75. It was definitely really entertaining. A lot happens and there was like a lot of action. was Broadbent. Now, I did not know that it was a series. Like, I don't know how I did know, but I did know. So this is the first book in the War of Lost Hearts series. And basically it follows Tisana, a former slave with a fierce will to reclaim her freedom and change the world. She's gifted with magic and driven by justice. She seeks training from a reclusive fire wielder named Maxitarius, whose part is as haunted as her own. As she enters a realm of powerful magical orders and looming war, Tisana must prove herself in a society that doubts her and confront truths that could reshape everything she believes. The story explores themes of resilience, trauma, and the transformative power of love and trust, all wrapped in a lush world building and high stakes intrigue. So, I will say this book was slow. The pace was a lot slower than what I'm used to. And it was slow burn romance. But I feel like it was a good break from the other books that I've been reading. So, I actually appreciated it and I really liked that about this book. I feel like the romance was so cute. It was done so well for a slow burn. Like it definitely built, and I felt the connection to the characters. Especially at the end, I loved it very much. And it was a little frustrating at times, mostly because Raisha is so toxic. I was like, girl, stop. I was like triggered, but it was a really good read. So I rated this book a 4-star. I'll probably be continuing the series at some point, just not right now. And the next book that I read was City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, and this was the third book in the Mortal Instruments series. Sorry, this was the second book in the Mortal Instruments series. So it plunges deeper into the supernatural world of shadow hunters and demons and downworlders. And in this book, Clary is still reeling from shocking revelations about her identity and family, and she must navigate a growing web of danger, betrayal, and forbidden feelings. Big on the forbidden feelings. As tensions rise in New York's magical underworld, a series of mysterious murders and a stolen artifact threaten to ignite a war, and Clary finds herself caught between loyalty, love, and the dark legacy of her father. So, I really feel like this series is just so good. I love this world. I love Cassandra Clare's writing, and so I'm enjoying these books very much so. I love the complexities behind the romances and like the found family and the character dynamics. So yeah, I rated this one a 4-star. And I'll definitely be continuing this series. Then the next book was the final book of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So it's A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. So this brings Evelyn Fox's fairy tale journey to its most emotional crossroads. Now living in a majestic castle and married to a charming prince, Evelyn seems to have found her happily ever after. But something isn't quite right. Her memories are fractured, her heart is unsettled, and a dangerous truth lurks beneath the surface. As old magic stirs and the enigmatic Prince of Hearts and Garber's signature lyrical style. This final chapter explores whether true love can survive when everything else falls apart. I will say I loved this book the most out of all of them. I like this one the most. The romance was just everything. At the end, it was everything. I really do like the romance, but I didn't like it till like the second, third book, you know? Like the first book I was like, what is happening? What is this? Who cares about Jax? Like I was like, what? But this book I really got that. I really love the romance, so I rated this one a 4.5, or no, I'm sorry, 4.25. So the next book that I read was A Game of Fate. A Game of Fate. This is the first book in the Hades saga, and this is by Scarlett St. Clair. So basically this is the retelling of the Hades and Persephone myth, but from Hades' point of view. As the god of the underworld, Hades rules with precision and power, balancing divine justice with mortal chaos. But his carefully controlled world begins to unravel when the fates reveal that its destined queen is none other than Persephone, the goddess of spring. Drawn to her defiance and light, Hades must navigate a high-stakes game of love, trust, and cosmic interference. With divine politics, dark bargains, and a slow-burning romance at its core, the story explores what it means to love when fate itself is still watching. I will say I loved his perspective. His point of view was so much better. Like, I thought it was a lot better. There's just more that happens too. Like, you get to see more of what happens in his point of view, what he does on a day-to-day basis, and I feel like you just really love Hades at the end of it. You know, you see him for like a good guy at the end of it, and so I really like this one. I rated this one a 4-star. 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 I really feel like 4-star is like my favorite rating, because why is everything 4-star? And the last book that I read was City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. So this is the third book in the Mortal Instruments series, and it takes a story to the heart of the Shadow Hunter world, Idris. So Clary travels to the legendary city of Glass, seeking answers that could save her mother and stop a rising evil. As tensions mount between Shadowhunters and Downworlders, old loyalties are tested and new alliances are forged. The stakes escalate into an epic confrontation that could reshape the fates of the world. This book really felt like a finale. Like, there was a lot of action, a lot happened. But I'm, again, still loving this series. It was so good, so much happened. It was very action-packed. And I jumped into the next book from this book. It's just it's a world that I love to be in. So, again, still a really great read. So I rated this one 3.5. 3.5. Yeah, I would say I don't rate the books higher just because I feel like when I love a book, I do like to do the 4-star rating, but when I like the book a lot, it's a 3 to 3.5, you know, so I didn't want to rate it higher, but I still really like the book, so I just want to clarify it. 3 stars is good for me. It's a good rating. So I will share what I'm currently reading now. read book 5, which I'll talk about next month or at the end of this month. And I'm on book 6 now, so I'm currently reading that book. And then I'm currently reading the 4th book in the Mortal Instruments series as well. So those are the 2 series I'm reading right now. And then I also picked up this book, Player Piano by Kurt Vonnegut. So this was a book that was recommended to me a couple of times by my boyfriend, so I finally picked it up and started reading it. Still pretty early on, but so far I do like it. This is Kurt Vonnegut's first novel, spins the chilling tale of engineer Paul Proteus, who must find a way to live in a world dominated by a supercomputer and run completely by machines. Paul's rebellion is vintage Vonnegut, wildly funny, deadly serious, and terrifyingly close to reality. And the next book, I actually just picked this up today. Like, I just started it. This is just for the summer by Abby Jimenez. When it comes to love, Emma is cursed. Every guy she dates finds his true love after they break up. But it turns out she's not the only one afflicted with this condition. His name is Justin, and his Reddit thread about being love's good luck charm has gone viral. Now the two have come up with an ingenious plan. If they date each other, their curses will cancel out, and they'll go on to find their soulmate. Only Justin wasn't supposed to be so unbelievably cute and hilarious. But when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected, including catching real feelings. His fate finally brought the perfect pair together, or will their cure? Has fate finally brought the perfect pair together, or will their cure be more hazardous than the cure itself? So given that it's nearing the end of summer, I was like, I need to read this book, otherwise it'll be till next summer when I read it. So hopefully I can get through it. I can get through it in time, but I have started this book, so that was everything for today's video.